It is the final day of the preseason. And before, here's the reality. We've got 16 games tonight. Nobody cares.
Nobody.
About the 16 games tonight. But we've got 4 guys who are still holding out. I mean, think about this. There were 5 holdouts when training camp opened. Michael Thomas signed his contract fairly quickly. There are still 4 left. Ezekiel Elliott, Melvin Gordon, Trent Williams, and Jadeveon Clowney. So, big picture. Here's the over-under. Here's the prop bet to start the show.
Okay.
Over-under 1.5 will show up for week 1. You taking the over, you taking the under?
I'm going the under right now. Yeah, I'm going the under all the way. I don't know if any of them are going to show up right now. The only guy I even look at that remotely maybe has a chance is if Jadeveon Clowney, something happens there. Maybe Melvin Gordon comes to his senses, which I wish he would because I don't think he's got leverage there. But Trent Williams, Ezekiel Elliott, that's not happening. I don't see it.
Yeah, look, I'm going to take the over.
You are going to take the over? Okay.
I think Melvin Gordon, because Melvin Gordon, he's in his 5th-year option. He's subject to fines in the amount of a game check for every preseason game he misses. So after tonight, it's going to be about $1.3, $1.4 million just in fines from missing preseason games. And then it changes. The prospect of being fined changes dramatically when you're looking at lost money that's never coming back.
Right.
And I think what the Chargers will likely do at some point between now and next Thursday or Friday, I don't know this, but I think what they'll do is they'll say, hey, Melvin, look, you're going to start losing $329,000 a week that's never coming back. If you come back now, we'll waive all your fines.
Yeah.
We've got the $30,000 a day in training camp fines. We've got $1.4 million in you've missed the preseason fines. And that all goes away, and you're going to get your $329,000 a week. Are you ready to come back? He's got no other option. He's got no other alternative.
Yes.
I think he'll be back. And I also think the next guy we're going to talk about will be back because for Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
Look, it's cost him nothing so far, Chris.
Right.
But as of next week, it's $1 million per game at least for him to not be present for the Texans. And that analysis, I think, changes everything as well. So I say over. You say under. We'll find out in 10 days whether that actually is the case.
But to clarify,
we won't know the answer.
You don't think Trent Williams or Zeke Elliott are going to be there? You think that's not happening? I don't either. I don't see the Zeke thing coming into an end here at any time soon.
Yeah, I think the 2 are going to be Gordon and Clowney. And let's talk more about Clowney because it seems like every hour there's another development about the holdout Texans linebacker / defensive end. Again, he's not being fined. It's not costing him anything until he starts missing regular season games. And there have been reports that he's willing to miss regular season games and reports that the Texans have spoken to 5 different teams about trading him. And look, Chris, let me just start with this from Clowney's perspective. A lot of people in the media are saying he's got all the leverage, he holds all the cards. Well, yeah, until he starts missing $1 million game checks.
Right.
It's expensive leverage for Jadeveon Clowney. For now, it doesn't cost him anything to say to the Texans, hey, you can't trade me until I sign my franchise tender. That's fine. It's free for him to not sign the franchise tender. If he chooses to miss regular season games because he's concerned he's going to sign the tender and then get traded to Miami where he doesn't want to play, that's going to be very expensive when the regular season rolls around. And that's the one thing we need to keep in mind. Before we praise Jadeveon Clowney for being in this great position, it's going to cost a lot every week to stay in that position starting next week.
It is. It's going to cost a lot. And I know when you're out there looking from the outside in, we just go, whoa, how could you do that? How could you turn down $1 million a week? Holy cow. And I understand that too. But I still think in the bigger picture of things, I'm sure Jadeveon Clowney and the people around him are going, yeah, but if you go out there and play and do something to your knee or do something else like that, then, wow, you're going to lose more than $1 million a week when it's all said and done on your next contract or anything that you want to get guaranteed money-wise, and that he's really going to be in a hole there. So he's risking some money loss now to hopefully make more money in the end and more guaranteed money in the end to set up his future life and his family and everything like that. So it's a very delicate balance. It's like we talked about with Le'Veon Bell last year. And you just really, as a player, got to kind of figure that out. But I'm really intrigued to see what happens here, too, Mike, just because.
And Chris,
go ahead.
What's the end game? Here's the thing. The end game for Bell last year, even if he didn't realize it at the time, the end game was, because he was tagged the second time, sit out the whole season, and then you become a free agent as a practical matter the next year because the Steelers aren't going to franchise tag you again. They don't transition tag him. He walks away and signs with the Jets. But for Clowney, he doesn't become a free agent by sitting out all of 2019.
No.
So that money is never coming back, and it's not as a practical matter pushing him toward that long-term deal, because he can't be signed to a long-term deal. If he's traded to another team, they cannot sign him to a long-term deal. And I think the bigger picture here is, from the Texans' perspective, remember what they went through in June. They fired Brian Gaine. They tried to hire Nick Caserio to be the new GM. They ultimately didn't hire a GM.
Right.
And then July 15 comes and goes. I think if they hadn't gone through all that turmoil and upset, they may have had a better plan that would have been implemented to get this guy traded before July 15.
That's all I've thought about, really, the last few days, is what would it have been like if Nick Caserio was there, or if there was truly an acting GM? Would there have been a better plan put forth? I mean, Billy O'Brien, I know he's a smart football guy and a real good football coach and all that too, but you can't balance everything. Sometimes when you're coaching the team, you can't sit there and come up with plans of as far as how you're going to handle certain guys in the trade market and do everything there. You need a little help. Bill Belichick has Nick Caserio there to help him along with that. He trusts them to get some of that nitty-gritty stuff out of the way, and then Caserio can come with them and go, hey, here's the plan I think that might work best. What do you think, Bill? And they'll bounce things back off each other. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, or the pecking order in Houston. But Clowney, I hear you, Mike. I mean, too, the other thing is his long-term contract prospects, they're shaky anyways. You said it yesterday. This is a guy who had microfracture surgery. You know, that scares the hell out of people in the NFL. I would say that's 1, 2, top 3 scariest injuries in the sport right now, right, Mike? I mean, microfracture surgery, patella tendon, and maybe something with your neck. Those 3 things right there alone get you in a little black book, and about every 30 and all 32 teams to go, oh, we need to really do our due diligence, and we end up signing this guy. And you know, I don't know if he's going to get a long-term contract, you know, or the money he really wants when all's said and done, endgame, even next year, you know, when he is a free agent or wherever, and he can negotiate a contract.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.